Tiffany says her dog Scooby died in her arms just 2 weeks ago. She was devastated, but before he died, she noticed a huge wound on his head as if someone had physically abused the dog. And family members told her that her husband Brian beat the dog and is responsible for his death. Now Tiffany needs to know the truth. And if Brian fails his lie detector test, she says she's leaving him. Take a look.
I'm here today because my wife thinks that I hurt our dog, Scooby. He had a gash in his head, and from then on he started going downhill. My wife thought that maybe I, punched him in the head out of anger. Tiffany's asked me on several occasions, have I hurt the dog? Have I struck the dog? Have I been abusing the dog? It makes me feel terrible when she asks me that because the trust is not there. The way Scooby came into our life, we was going down the road one day, we was out riding around, and we seen this sweet little dog running down the side of the road, and he looked hungry. His ribs were showing, and he was covered in fleas. So we stopped the car, opened the door and told me, and said, "Come on, jump in the car." And he got in the car. Scooby meant the world to me. Every day, he'd wake up, and he'd look at me, and we'd go outside every day, treats every day. He was my companion, he was my friend, my sidekick. Me and my wife had 4 miscarriages, and we was giving up on having children, and Scooby came in our lives. It brightened our world up, just made us have hope from there on. Well, if I pass today, I hope my wife knows the truth. I would never do anything to our son. He was our son. I would never hurt an animal. I've been around animals all my life. I've been on a farm all my life, and animals is my passion. He took his last breath in her arms, and I felt his last heartbeat in my hand. That last beat of his heart is still in my hand every day.
I have 2 beautiful children, but they're both teenagers now. When they come home, "Hey, how was school?" "Good." "You want to do something?" "No, Dad." But the dog is always happy to see me.
Yeah.
I sit down, that dog's on my lap every time. He's wagging his tail, lays on his back, or I rub his belly. Rain or shine, right? So you got this beautiful dog, Scooby. How did you come to having this dog?
We rescued Scooby in 2013. He was on the side of the road, and he was filthy. He was obviously
So you were driving by and you just saw him?
Yeah. He was walking alone. He looked scared, and he was filthy. He was starved. You could see his ribs. So we opened the car door, and he jumped right in, and from that day on, he lived like a king. He ate better than we did. That was our baby.
Right.
He saved us.
When you say he saved you, what does that mean?
He came into our lives after we had suffered 4 miscarriages. And Scooby, he was always around me, and he made us feel like we was parents. He would lick my tears off my face. He was so just the biggest emotional support I could ever have asked for. I couldn't ask for a better friend. My family has been telling me for about 10 months that he's just a monster, and that they feel like he is the reason.
Your husband's a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Why, other than suspicion about the dog, is he a monster? Has he ever hit you?
No.
Okay.
No, he's the best thing that ever happened to me other than Scooby.
He seems like a pretty gentle guy, just watching him on the tape, soft-spoken.
Yeah.
And then, he's sitting there with the dog like you could tell, like he loves the dog too.
Well, with all the accusations, my family is just built up
Your family's been
into my
putting
head,
those on there.
yes.
Does your family not like your husband?
They hate him.
Why?
They think he's not good enough for me.
Tell me about the day Scooby died.
The day Scooby passed away, he had had a really rough night. We had been checking on him quite a few times throughout the night. When we woke up around 10, we took him outside, and he peed and pooped, and when he walked up towards the porch, he just collapsed. He collapsed, and Brian scooped him up in his arms and brought him to the bedroom to me, and he said, "Honey, his gums is pale. It's almost time." And I held him in my arms, and I said, "Scooby, Mommy don't want you to suffer. It's okay." and he left. He looked up at me and he looked up at Brian, and you know, I guess he made sure that Mommy and Daddy was there, and he passed away peacefully in my arms. Scooby was my life.
All right, let's meet your husband, Brian.
You know, I would never do anything to that dog. He was our son. I would never do anything to hurt you or the dog.
Her family says they hate you.
They've hated me since we got married.
Why?
Because, well, she's the baby of the family. You know?
So they wouldn't have liked anybody that you married.
No, they wouldn't like anybody. No.
And you love the dog?
Absolutely. I loved him with all my heart.
How would you describe the dog?
Man, it's a bundle of joy, you know, just a big ball of energy and fur. You know, he's happy to see anybody. He never met a stranger. Never met a stranger. He was always there beside of us. He was with us all the time.
Did you see the injury to his head?
Yes, I did. I woke up one morning and I seen it was in the side of his head, and I told Tiffany, I said, honey, I said, look at his head. What's going on here? And we looked at it and, you know, couldn't figure out what in the world would ever happen to it.
It was the shape of a fist.
Yeah, it was in the shape of a fist. I admit that, you know, but no.
You have any idea what could have happened to Scooby?
None at all.
Now, you've been married 7 years, and your wife is standing here saying, if you fail this lie detector test, she's divorcing you.
Yeah.
And you'd be okay with that?
No. Well, I mean.
Well, you'd have to be, because then you did something to the dog.
Exactly, yeah.
And then, like 15, 20 people are going to run out of his audience and kick your ass.
Yeah. And I'm
going to tell my security to stand down.
Yeah, I would stand there and let him do it. I would. I would stand there and let him do it. I'd draw a target on me.
But I said before you came out
She'd
here.
be the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We'd have to hold you back to it. Well, we
Okay.
won't. We won't, though. But I said, when I was standing, even before we got on stage, I told my wife, I go, I'm watching a video of you. I go, there's no way this guy did this.
Yeah.
I believe you.
Right.
Well, thanks, Steve.
Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. We asked Brian, he came here, took a lie detector test, because he wants to stay married to you.
You better pass.
Did you cause that head injury to your dog, Scooby? He answered no. Brian told the truth.
I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize. No, you just listen to your family, and I can't.
Well, they owe you a big apology.
Well, I'll be waiting for when that happens.
Maybe.
I'll say this. Nothing will ever erase the pain of losing your dog.
No.
Like I said, it's like losing a family member.
Yeah.
Again, every dog that I've ever had in my life, one was tragically killed by a car, and me and my wife and my kids were devastated, right? Yeah. But the other dogs we had to put down because, you know, they were very old and it was time. And that's just as bad, right? Yeah. You're holding a dog in your arms and they put the dog to sleep, it's terrible. Yeah. But what you guys did was a really great thing. You saw a dog suffering, and you took him in and you made him part of your family. You gave that dog a life, you gave that dog a family. And the thing is, there's 1 million dogs out there that need that still. Right. So what I'm saying is ease your pain by taking another dog in and make him part of your family.
Thank you so much.
Really nice meeting you. I'm really sorry about your dog. Really nice meeting you. Good luck to you.